channel Unknown Physicist. So today we are in another video of our series Mastering MMP. So in our previous video we have discussed all about Fourier series. So we have seen the formula and a quite number of problems and I have given few tasks. We have discussed the answers in our Telegram group which is Unknown Physicist. And today what we are going to see is really very important in point of any competitive exam. Let it be CSIR, NET or JEST or GATE, anything. This is really very important. So what we are going to see is all about Fourier transform. So here I will be sharing the formula for Fourier transform and a quite number of really time saving integrals which is going to save a lot of time, and we will do quite number of good problems also. So, and if you are a new visitor to this channel, in this channel I do make videos on different concepts of physics. Right now I am doing two series, one is for mathematical paper and the other is for quantum. So in mathematical we have completed complex analysis and linear algebra, and I have given a quite number of practice problems in YouTube shorts. The links are in the description box. You can check those links and make the best use of those videos. So let's get started with today's video. Okay, let's get started with video. So as I said, we are going to see all about Fourier transform today. And Fourier transform is really one of the most important and interesting and easiest topic. If you are quite good with your integration, then sure you can get your answer very soon. So for example, if I am having a function f of x, I have to do Fourier transform. Then Fourier transform of f of x is given by 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity into f of x e raised to I k x into dx. So this is your formula for Fourier transform. In certain books, and this is your normalization constant. In some books they might have considered, some books they might have ignored, but that's not a big deal. And one more thing, so if you have a function x, you are transforming to the region k, then you have to multiply it with e raised to I k x. Similarly, if you have t for time something like that, then you have to change it to omega, so which will be e raised to I omega t. Okay, so this is one of the things which you have to know. In certain cases, they would have for x they would have taken it as s. It's completely up to you. So I will be getting stick with x only. So I am familiar with it. So I'll be using x only throughout this video. So let us see the formula still more clearer. So I have a function f of x for the region minus infinity less than x less than infinity. Then f of k, which is the Fourier transform of this function, is given by 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x into e raised to I k x into dx. And one more thing is Fourier transform of omega is nothing but Fourier transform of the function f of omega is equal to 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity into f of, I'm sorry, this is not omega, this is t, f of t into e raised to I omega t, and you will be differentiating with respect to t. So it is dt. So this is your Fourier transform formula. Okay, Fourier transform of f of x as well as f of t. And we have something called inverse Fourier transform. So inverse Fourier transform. Inverse Fourier transform. So it's just taking the inverse of this. So what it will be means, like you are having x, you are taking Fourier transform for the, it becomes k, and again inverse Fourier transform, you are getting back this from k, you are getting back this. So your formula is f of x is equal to Fourier inverse of f of k is equal to 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity into f of k into e raised to minus I k x. So I k x. Okay, so this is the only difference. Here we had e raised to I k x. Here it is e raised to minus I k x. Okay, so this is for f of x. So if I have f of omega, sorry, f of t. So for f of t, it is Fourier inverse of f of omega is equal to 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of omega into e raised to minus I omega t into dt. So this is your Fourier inverse transform. So you just have to remember these formulas, right? And next, so now I'll be going to give you a list of integral formulas, which is going to be really very helpful. So some of the integrals, again going to save a lot of time and going to get your answer in just a one step. Few of the formulas we have discussed already in our quantum video, which is important integration trick. Few of the formulas I will be introducing now. So the first one is integral minus infinity to plus infinity e raised to minus ax square plus bx plus c into dx is nothing but, we have discussed this, under root pi by a e raised to b square minus 4ac by 4k. Hope you guys remember. And the second one is integral minus infinity to plus infinity e raised to minus ax square plus bx into dx is nothing but under root pi by a e raised to b square by 4a, right? Next, third one is integral minus infinity to plus infinity e raised to minus ax square dx, so which is a Gaussian integral. It is given by under root pi by a. And one more thing, this is new, so which is integral 0 to infinity sine ax by a, sorry, sine ax by x, not a, sine ax by x into dx is nothing but pi by 2, is nothing but pi by 2. You have to just remember this, and I have still few more formulas, I will mention them also. So these are new to you guys. So fifth one is integral minus infinity to plus infinity e raised to minus ax square into cos bx. Cos bx dx is given by under root pi by a e raised to minus b square by 4a. Sometimes in this the limit might be from integral 0 to infinity. So in that case you have to multiply 1 by 2 into your this answer. Okay. If there is a change in the limit, you have to use this. And then sixth one is integral integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus ax cos bx dx is given by a by a square plus b square, a by a square plus b square. And then seventh one is integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus ax. In this case, it is sine bx. Okay, so sine bx is given by b by a square plus b square. Actually, these integrals we will be seeing in our Laplace transform. That time we will be more clearer. I will be uploading the video tomorrow most probably. So this is one of the thing. And one more thing is eighth one. It is integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus ax. Similarly, integral minus infinity to 0 e raised to ax is nothing but 1 by a, is nothing but 1 by a. Hope like this one we have discussed already. So these are some of the very basic integrals which you need to know so that you can solve your problems easily. So let us start doing one or two problems so that you will get to understand what is the actual Fourier transforms. Okay, let us start solving some problems. So the first question here is find the Fourier transform of the following function. The function is f of t is equal to n into e raised to minus a square t square. So it is in t. If I'm doing Fourier transform, this is a function of omega, right? So f of omega is equal to 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity into f of t e raised to plus I omega t into dt. So which will be 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity. What is my f of t? It is n e raised to minus a square t square into e raised to I omega t into dt. I'll club these terms. So which will be under n. I'm taking it outside. So it will be n by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity e raised to minus a square t square, and this will be minus I omega t into dt, right? Don't write this as plus, just think I have taken the minus sign common. Be careful over here. So this is in the form of e raised to minus ax square plus bx into dx, right? So what is the answer for this integral? It's actually under root pi by a e raised to b square by 4a, right? So what is your b here? Your b here it is minus I omega, and your a here it is a. This a only. So if I am substituting in this formula, it will be n by under root 2 pi into under root pi by a e raised to b square. So which will be minus I omega the whole square by 4a. So 4a. I'm sorry, my a here it is a square. It is not a, it is a square. So this will be a square. So finally, which will be, and I'll write this as constant, some constant I'm writing. So it will be c into e raised to minus omega square by 4a square. So if you look more carefully, what is this function? This is a Gaussian function, right? So this is a Gaussian function. And when I do a Fourier transform, what I got? I got the same Gaussian function. I'm getting the same Gaussian function. We'll be seeing some more examples similar to this. And let us see one more sum. So my second question is find the Fourier transform of the following function f of t is equal to delta t. And this is a Dirac delta function, and I have not done a particular video on Dirac delta, but yesterday in my variational principle video I have mentioned the basic idea for Dirac delta. You can check it over there. So my f of t is delta of t. So I have to find f of omega, which is 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of t into e raised to I omega t dt, right? So which will be 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity delta of t into e raised to I omega t dt. If you remember, I have mentioned in the form of delta of x minus x naught. If your center is 0, then the value of this integral is 1. So it will be only 1 by under root 2 pi. So your f of omega is 1 by under root 2 pi. Hope you got it. And again, I'm repeating for the Dirac delta concept. I'm not explained very detailed, but I've given just a basic idea. You can check it in the video, which is variational principle. Again, the links will be either in the iCard as well as in the description box. Okay. The next what we are going to see is Fourier cosine and sine transform. So I'll split the screen into two. So first let us see Fourier sine transform. Fourier sine transform. And this is for a function f of x. Okay. For f of x, the Fourier sine transform is given by fs of k. Like we used to represent f to the base s. Okay. This is for sine. Is nothing but the Fourier sine transform of f of x, which is given by under root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity. The limits are changing. Be careful with this. Into f of x sine kx into dx. Sine kx into dx. This is Fourier sine transform. Similarly, we have something Fourier cosine transform. Fourier cosine transform of a function f of x. So here Fourier cosine transform of k is nothing but Fourier cosine of f of k is equal to same under root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of x into cos kx. It is cos, since it is cosine, it is cos kx. So in how Fourier transform, we had inverse Fourier transform. Similarly, here we have inverse Fourier sine transform. So inverse, I'm writing Fourier sine transform, okay, which is given by f of x is equal to Fourier inverse sine Fourier inverse of f of x of k is nothing but under root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity Fourier sine of k into sine kx dx. kx dx. Similarly, we have inverse Fourier cosine transform. Inverse Fourier cosine sine transform, which is given by f of x is equal to inverse Fourier of cosine, that is fc of k, is equal to under root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity fc of k sine kx, I'm sorry, this is cos kx dx. Okay, cos kx dx. Actually, looking at these formulas, it will be like, okay, fine, very easy, I can do it. But the real thing, like the factual thing here, it is you have to write these formulas daily, because there will be making mistake, like instead of sin kx, we will be substituting cos kx. So you should have a habit of writing a formulas and practicing it daily. So let us see one or two problems in this. So here my first question is find cosine transform. Okay, find cosine transform of a function f of t is equal to e raised to minus a square t square. Okay, a square t square. Remember, most important thing for cosine or sine transform, your limits is from 0 to infinity. Okay. So it is in t. So this would be f of omega is equal to under root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity f of t into cos omega t dt. So which is under root 2 by pi integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus a square t square cos omega t into dt. If you just look into this, you should remember your formula, which I said just a few minutes back. So what it was actually, it was integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus ax square, ax square, one second, ax square cos bx dx is given by half into under root pi by a e raised to minus b square by 4a. Right? Hope you guys remember. So what is your b here? Your b is nothing but omega and your a is nothing but a square. So here it would be under root 2 by pi into half into under root pi by a square into e raised to minus b square. So which is omega square by 4a square. So this is your final answer. So it's really easy. See, if you just know, remember this one integral formula, you will be getting the answer just in 30 seconds. And one more thing, be careful while writing the coefficients of x square, all those things, okay? You should be really very careful, because sometimes we tend to make mistakes here and the examiner gives that kind of answers. So you should be careful while doing substitution or doing integration or substituting limits. So at these points, you have to be very careful. It's always better to double check it. And next this is one different type of question. So I think this is a fourth question. So find the Fourier transform of f of x is equal to 1 by x square plus a square. Okay. So I have to find Fourier transform for this function. So what it will be? F of k is given by 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x into e raised to I kx dx. So which will be 1 by under root 2 pi integral minus infinity to plus infinity 1 by x square plus a square e raised to I kx into dx. Okay, you didn't say any formula for this. How should I solve this? If you are someone who has watched my complex analysis video, you should be able to figure out. Actually, if you look into this integral, you can solve it by contour integral, right? You can solve this with help of contour integral, right? So what is your, it is here your pole of order is 1. Pole of order, it is 1. And what is your singular points? Actually, it is x square by a square. It should be equal to 0. So your x is nothing but plus or minus ia. So what you should find over here? Actually, if you look into the limits, you will be able to figure out. It is from the limit minus infinity to plus infinity. So something like I think you should be able to recall these things, minus infinity to plus infinity. So we saw the case of a semi-infinite circle. So x is equal to plus ia lies somewhere here. X is equal to minus ia, where does it lie? It lies somewhere here. So we will be considering only x is equal to plus a, and this lies outside our region. So x is equal to plus ia only we will be considering. Okay, and next we have to do the contour integration for this. So what it is actually, e raised to I k x by x square plus a square. Again I have shared an alternate method for this. Here your pole of order is 1. So you can, and it is a polynomial. So what you can do, you have to just write your numerator and differentiate your denominator. If you are differentiating denominator, what it is 2x, and then you have to substitute your singular point over here. So which will be, okay, let me do from this step in the next slide. So actually what you had is e raised to I k x divided by x square plus a square. So my singular points were x is equal to plus or minus ia. So x is equal to plus a is the only singular point which lies inside. So I have to do the contour integration. Again I have shared an alternate method for that, which was write your numerator and differentiate your denominator, which is 2x. Again I am repeating, this is applicable only in the case of simple pole. Don't do it for a pole of order 2, only for pole of order 1. So which will be equal to, I have to put x is equal to ia over here. So it will be e raised to minus k by 2ia. So now I have to find the residues. So residue is given by 2 pi I into e raised to minus k by 2ia. Since why I have used 2 pi a? Because it is not on x-axis. It is somewhere inside. It is not on x-axis. Right? So which will be finally my Fourier transform of x is given by, so I have to cancel. So 2 gets cancelled, I gets cancelled. So which will be pi into e raised to minus k divided by a. So this is your final answer. Hope you got it. So the next one is, what we are going to see is Fourier transform of derivative of a function. Fourier transform of derivative of a function. So what this is? Again, this is going to be really very helpful for you. So suppose Fourier transform of f of x. How it is given? It is given by integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x into e raised to I k x dx. Correct? Now suppose Fourier transform of f dash of x. If they are asking Fourier transform of f dash of x, then it is given by minus I k integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x into e raised to, this is plus, e raised to I k x into dx, because you will be differentiating this, right? So that is how you get this. Suppose Fourier transform of f double dash of x is asked. Again, then it is minus I k whole square. So since it is double derivative, it is whole square integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x e raised to I k x. So again, this is nothing but Fourier transform of f of x. Fourier transform of f of x. So generally, I can state this as, if they are asking Fourier transform of fn of x, that is any derivative, first derivative, second or third derivative, any derivative, then it is given by minus ik the whole power n. Suppose if they are asking third derivative, then here it is minus ik whole power 3 into Fourier transform of f of x into Fourier transform of f of x. So let me do one example in this. So for this, the first question is Fourier transform of delta dash of x. So Fourier transform of, first let me find for del of x. So which is nothing but integral minus infinity to plus infinity. My f of x is delta of x into e raised to I k x into dx. So here what is your center? It is 0, right? So what is the value of this integral? It is 1. So Fourier transform of delta of x is equal to, okay, I have left the constant term which is 1 by under root 2 pi. So it will be 1 by under root 2 pi, right? Now I have to find the Fourier transform of delta dash of x. Delta dash of x means it is minus ik whole power n into Fourier transform of f of x. So what is my n? It is, they have asked only first derivative. So my n is 1. So your answer is minus ik into 1 by under root 2 pi. Sometimes they would have considered the constant, sometimes they would have not considered. Okay, in that case it will be 1. So your answer will be minus ik. Okay. So I will be giving a lot of tasks at end of this video. Let me do one more problem. So the second one is Fourier transform of delta of x plus summation n is equal to 1 to infinity into dn by dxn of delta of x. So this looks something different. So let me split this. Fourier transform of delta of x plus summation n is equal to 1 to infinity into Fourier transform of delta n of x. So delta n of x doesn't, delta n of x represents differentiation value. Okay. So if you look here carefully, just now we have solved what is Fourier transform of delta of x. It was only 1 plus summation n is equal to 1 to infinity. And what is Fourier transform of delta n of x? It is nothing but minus ik whole power n into Fourier transform of delta of x. So what is Fourier transform of delta of x? It was nothing but 1. So which I can write as 1 plus summation n is equal to 1 to infinity minus ik whole power n. So now if I am going to expand this, what I will be getting? Minus ik whole power n. So for 0 this would be 1. Like n is equal to 0, it is 1. And n is equal to 1, it is minus ik. And n is equal to, this would be minus ik the whole square. For n is equal to 3, minus ik the whole cube, so on. So if you look at this expression carefully, this is nothing but a geometric progression. Geometric progression. So for geometric progression, you know sum of infinite terms is given by a by 1 minus r. So what is your a? A is your first term, which is 1, and r is the common ratio between first and the second term, which is t2 by t1 basically. So it is minus ik by 1. So your r is minus ik. So I will do it over here. So your S infinity is given by 1 by 1 minus of minus ik. So it becomes 1 plus ik. Right? So finally, Fourier, okay, where should I write? 1 second, I'll erase something. So I'll erase this part. So finally, your Fourier transform of this expression is nothing but 1 plus 1 by 1 plus ik, right? So you can simplify your answer depending upon the options given in the question. The one thing is you should be able to identify and able to apply. You have to use a geometric progression over here. So once you are looking into your options, you can figure it out easily. But always be with the presence of mind, like what kind of mathematical tool I can apply so that I can simplify my answer. And next what we are going to see. So now what we are going to see is some of the properties of Fourier transform. Properties of Fourier transform. These properties are really very important in point of GATE exam. If you are preparing for GATE and this properties, like they will be asking directly, not the property, a question which is representing any one of the property which I am going to mention. So it's again going to be really very important. Okay. So the first property is change of scale property. Change of scale. So over here, if you have a Fourier transform of f of x is f of s, then Fourier transform of f of ax multiplied by with some constant. It is nothing but 1 by a into f of s by a. 1 by a into f of s by a. And the second property is Shifting property. I think they have asked it twice question from this. So again, this is important. Shifting property. What is shifting property? So again, I will define. If Fourier transform of f of x is f of s, then Fourier transform of f of x plus or minus a is nothing but e raised to minus or plus isa into f of x, f of s. Okay. So for example, if you have f of x plus a, then it is e raised to minus isa into f of s. Suppose if you are having x minus a, then it is e raised to isa into f of s. Hope you got it. And then third one. Third one is nothing but the modulation theorem or modulation property. So over here, if Fourier transform of f of x is f of s, then Fourier transform of f of x into cos ax nothing but 1 by 2 into f of s minus a plus 1 by 2 into f of s minus s plus a. Okay. So this is one of the most important property again. This is modulation property. If you have cos ax, then you have to split into two terms. One is f s minus a, another is f s plus a. Okay. And then the fourth property is, again this is a part of modulation theorem, which is if there is a Fourier transform of f of x is f of s, then Fourier transform of f star, that is conjugate f star, is nothing but f star of minus s, f star of minus x s. And the fifth one is derivative theorem. Just now we discussed derivative theorem. So here, if your function is dn by dx power n, just now we discussed dn by dx power n into f of x, then this Fourier transform is given by minus is, so which we saw over there is minus ik. If it is k, it is k. If it is s, if it is s. Okay. Generally in books they used to represent in x, s. In exam point of view, they will be using k. Okay. So is whole power n into f of s. So these are some of the really very important properties which you should know. And then next, last but not least, Parseval's identity. Parseval's identity. So what does this Parseval identity means? If you have a function f of x and g of x, then their Fourier transform is f of s and g of s, right? F of s and g. This is g. This is g. Okay, g of s. So we have two stages over here. First one is integral minus infinity to plus infinity mod of f of x square dx is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity mod of Fourier transform of s whole square ds. Okay, this is first thing. And the second one is integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x g star of x dx is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of s into g star of s ds. Okay, so these are the certain properties which you should make sure you are able to identify from a question and use this property. Okay, so that you can save a lot of time. So our video never ends without a task. So I'll be giving few summaries tasks, and apart from this, I'll try to upload few more questions in YouTube shorts, how I did for complex analysis, which I'll be mostly doing it tomorrow morning. So let us see what are the tasks for today. What are the tasks? I have quite number of questions. So the task is, first question, find the Fourier transform of the function f of t is equal to e raised to minus a into mod t. E raised to minus a into mod t. Okay, so this is your first question. And the second one is Fourier transform of e raised to minus at. So here in this question you are supposed to find Fourier sine and Fourier cosine transform. Fourier sine and Fourier cosine, not the normal Fourier transform, Fourier sine and Fourier cosine transform. So this is your second question. The third one is f of x is equal to 1 by x power 4 plus 3x square plus 2. Okay. So here you have to find Fourier transform. Okay, just the basic Fourier transform. I hope once you see the question, you should be able to figure out something over from here. Okay, this is one thing. And then last fourth question, this was one of your PYQ, that is your previous year question, I think mostly in CSIR. Find the Fourier transform of alpha into delta of x plus beta into delta dash of x plus gamma into delta double dash of x. So you have to find Fourier transform for this function. So hope that's it. I'm sure apart from these questions, I'll be giving you few more questions in YouTube shorts. So stay tuned. Like I'll be uploading it mostly tomorrow morning. Hope you are able to understand what is really Fourier transform and what are the ways you can solve it. And if you feel this video is going to help your friends preparation, don't forget to share this video. And one more most important thing, tomorrow I'll be uploading a video on Laplace transform. Again, which is going to be really helpful if you are an aspirant who is preparing for just the exam. And if you really appreciate the content in this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up sign. So till then everyone, keep practicing. Bye bye. Have a nice day.